What's going on, everyone? Nathan 343 here. Want to share a little bit about, I've had some people ask me, hey, how did you mount that snowplow, which is there, to your truck? Well, we're going to talk about it. Stay tuned. So the before truck was just a simple little 99 Dodge Dakota, and I wanted it to be a plow truck. So let's talk about it.
Okay, well, here we are a few days later after I took that first little clip. And like I said, I've had a bunch of people ask me throughout the years how I made this plow work on this Dodge Dakota. You know, normally they don't make Dakota mounts for snowplows. Well, let's just say me and an old friend, well, he's still a friend, made this work. And yeah, so basically what we had to do is we had to, and I've got some pictures that you're going to see here later on of some brackets that we made, and I'll kind of do voiceover on that so you guys can see what's going on here. But I'm going to show you what we've got here so far is right in here. You can't see it, but we plated the inside of this of the frame. The frame goes right down through here. We had to cut a slit in the bumper. I don't know if you can see that. There's a bolt there, a bolt, and there's a bolt there that sticks outside the bumper. And there's two more bolts back inside that holds this bracket here on. This bracket here has a bolt going through it, which holds the pump and light bracket and all that stuff on it. So so this piece here actually comes unbolts. See this little cut of metal right here? This actually, I can take it off during the summer, and I don't have this on the front, but I actually have a push bar that I mount on here. So I have another bracket that I've built to fit on here, but this is basically a flat piece of steel with a square piece of pipe welded. I wish we would have welded the an end on it here where there wasn't a hole to get water and crap in there, with some bolts and nuts. Now the wiring, again, I've just put this on recently, so I haven't got all my wiring tucked up and all that, but we did hit a deer a few years ago, which has bent this a little bit, and we have bent it back quite a bit, but it's not exactly straight like it used to be. I had a deer run out in front of me and hit, and it bent it pretty good. Luckily I didn't have the pump on there, so I just had the which the pump is about ready for a new coat of paint. I'm actually going to have the motor going through here before too long, and kind of touched up the brushes because it is not a brushless motor. I wish they made brushless motors for these, and have all that checked out. So that's going to be changing. But then from there, we came out, we welded some stuff down in here, and you're going to see this in the pictures. We had to take the bumper off. You'll see it in the pictures here coming up how we did it, and I'll explain it to you. But there's a piece of metal back in there that's welded to the frame, and then this other stuff bolts on. Mostly everything that is on the frame is welded. There's a couple things that has bolts in them, but most of it is welded so that it would not come loose. I want to thank Mr. Patrick Incorporated for doing a lot of the welding for me and helping me kind of figure this out, because I had no idea which way to go and how to make this work. But we did that on both sides. As you can see, I've got my turn signal wire there that runs the turn signals on the snowplow light. The rest of the harness is down here. So we've got my lighting harness, which I loomed up, so that's all protected. We've got a cable here, which if I want to run auxiliary lighting on the plow harness, which I haven't put the new stuff on yet. We've got the control harness right here, which is a simple just bullet type connectors. They're under the controller. I am possibly going to be getting a different harness so I can run a different style, like slingshot, gunshot, whatever you call it, joystick controller. All my power cables go up through here, up under this little hole right here next to the radiator reservoir goes up to the battery. I do have a little corrosion going on here. I'm gonna be getting rid of that. So the solenoid is here on the, we have an upgraded solenoid. If you guys can get these solenoids, these are much better than the snowplow solenoids. This thing has lasted years upon years of use. I think I have put one of these on there maybe 6 years ago, and I've yet to change it. I take it apart every once in a while, clean the connections, you know, make sure all that's good. So then that runs to there. All the wires that come in here run into there. From there, they go over to around here, connects to the battery that's all corroded because I've got to get some more stuff on there and spray. I've got a quick connect here for my power for the headlights, and all the electrical stuff we hooked up for the headlights. We hooked that up differently because it would not hook up the way that the headlights said to hook it up. So I ran it through a relay. Everything's hooked up into the relay. Everything plumbs into there and then comes around, and then it gets power from the battery from this T adapter connector with one here. As soon as I make that connection, the headlights have power and they run off of the headlight switch in the truck. Now, when I connect this, we have it wired so that it kills the truck lights. So the headlights on that will come on and the truck lights go off. So that works out pretty good. Of course, I've got everything fused. We've got a fuse here for the pump and a fuse here for the headlights. Everything is, no wait, that's the pump, that's the headlights. That's right. So everything is good and fused, so no problems happened. Actually, when I'm not using the pump, I pull the fuse out so I don't actually get turned on, because one time I left the basically joystick pulled down and it ran my battery down. And that is a deep cycle battery. That's another thing I'm using on this so I don't run my battery down, because when I first started plowing, the battery that was on it would run down and I would have to let it sit and charge, or let the engine charge it or something, or the alternator. So I talked to a local battery specialist here. They said, let's put a deep cycle battery in that, and we did. And this is the third year having this battery in here. These last normally 5 or 6 years, so that, you know, they're a good battery. They recover fast, and they have, you know, excess storage in there for power. I love that battery. Fits perfect. So, and basically I've got, of course, I've just kind of hooked everything up so you guys could see how everything worked. I normally run my power cables down through the bumper, out through the bumper hole and up to it. These are good heavy gauge power wires. Again, this wire here is the control wire. It does run down through there, and all that good stuff. So I will show the hood. So again, yeah, it just kind of comes down, bolts to this. I'll show the pictures of us actually that I took when we did this, and it's strong. It don't go anywhere. I will eventually probably have another one of these brackets made so that it's not bent anymore. These are not super hard to make, but I mean, I've taken everything I've taken, smashed it down. It was a lot more bent than that, but we got it fixed the best way I could. And yeah, it is an E57 pump. I am going to probably get it painted again soon, and sandblast it, paint it, all that. And all that stuff. I did have to replace the bottom part once, so that's why the bottom of the pump has not been painted and all that good stuff. But it works really good. I think it's a great plow for this little truck, little Dodge Dakota here. This is a 99 Dodge Dakota. I've got 370 some thousand miles on it. Whether those are original miles or not, I do not know. But she's holding up good. I run a lot of Lucas stuff in my additives, oil, transmission, all that good stuff works. So let's go ahead and jump into the pictures so that we can, I can show you detailed of how this actually bolts to the frame without actually having to take this all apart. Well, the first thing I had to do was locate a plow that would roughly work with my truck. So I looked online and I found this one in Quincy, Illinois, and talked to the guy, and actually had a friend go with me. We went and picked it up. I picked this plow up for like $500. So the first thing I did was take everything apart. We took it apart, sanded it down, cleaned it up, took all the rust off of it because I was going to paint everything and make it look nice again. So we completely stripped it down. The kingpin, all that stuff, we replaced all that. The mold board was cut off so we could put a new one on it. It was just a lot of work, sanding it all down, cleaning all the rust out of it. But hey, if you're going to do something the right way, you do it so it lasts. And then we went ahead and painted the frame. Got it all. I had it on a set of forks there on a forklift so it would dry, and we got it painted. Put a couple good coats on it. We did put primer and stuff on it. And then we got a piece of the mold board and we put that down in there. Took some blocks and a jack and then jacked it down in there so it would retain the shape, and then welded it. So then we started looking at the pump. Well, the pump had leaks. The pump had a few other things that needed done. The cylinder was pitted. So I took it to a buddy here in town that works on snowplow pumps, and he rebuilt it for me. This costed me around $500 to have the pump rebuilt. And then I had a friend paint it. He painted it for free, as you can see here. Did a wonderful job, made it look tremendous. So the first thing we did was we took out all of the bumper, all the brackets, everything out of the way so we could have clear access to the front of the truck. And I was like, well, where do we start? So we did some mocking up and we come up with this. So we had 2 pieces of flat iron that came directly out of the frame. You can see the frame there on each side of the radiator. And then we made this Z looking kind of bracket that came down where the plow actually would mount. So we kind of mimicked that off of the other frame. As you can see, it sticks out quite a bit there. We made it come out a little bit further than it should have, and we ended up cutting it back a little bit. These were some pieces of metal that were just laying around that were already cut, so we used those. As you can see here, we used those pieces that come down with a square piece of tube, and we cut the old bolt holes off of the old mount that it came with and welded those to that square tubing, as you can see here, where I pin the plow on to the snow plow, which was very simple because making those eyelets and all that probably would have been a chore. So we just cut those off, put those on there, grinded them smooth, cleaned them up. As you can see, we also added some bracing here to the side to help keep that from wanting to bend forward or bend backwards. You can also see some of the metal that is welded up in there. After that, it was a lot of sanding, grinding, cleaning up all the rust, and painting. So as you can see here, we went ahead and also mounted that other piece of square tubing that I showed you in the first part of the video there, and welded that to that piece of flat iron that you see right there where the welding thing is, the ground part. We welded that to that piece of flat that came out so we knew exactly where to put it. It turned out really good. Our brains clicked together, and if you look real closely there to the right of the truck on the forklift pallet, you can see the plow is already done, and now we're going to talk about what we did to the plow. So as you can see there before, we had built the bracket for the snow plow and then made it to where I could put a push bar on it as well. So I've had 2 different push bars on the truck, but it's nice. I can either have the plow mount on there or I can have my push bar. So that's all. So then I, of course, had to go get a Meyer sticker and make it look like the Lot Pro. So I went and got a big old sticker and stuck on there. It says Meyer, and it turned out really good. I also put a new cutting edge on it, too. So, yeah. So I wanted to make a deflector so that snow wouldn't roll up the top. So this is a belt out of a baler that we cut to make a deflector out of, and I think that is awesome. I have a little bit of piece of farm equipment in there, a little bit of farming incorporated into my plow. Now I have had this plow for probably 7 years, I would say, and I truly like it. I think this truck is awesome for plowing. I'm going to put some video here at the end so you can see how good it does at plowing. And yeah, and I again want to thank Todd Patrick and Patrick Incorporated for helping me with all the kind of manufacturing and helping me design the mount and all that. It turned out. So from start to finish, the job took roughly probably about 60 to 70 days to manufacture, to figure it out, to basically put it together. As you can see some pictures throughout its life so far that I've had it. As you can see, I don't have my camper shell on anymore. We did get rid of it, and you can see a different hood and different bumper on here. That was after the deer accident. I went to a junkyard and picked up some, which eventually repainted those to match the truck and everything. As you can see, the truck has been a good truck to me, and I am blessed to have this Dakota. and been able to plow with it. I am thinking about putting on wings on the plow this year. If I do, I will make a video on that, on how I do that. But from here on out, I'm going to leave you guys with some video taken while we were plowing so you can see just how good this truck and plow does. So as you can see, my truck has been a pretty good truck to me, and it does really good snow plowing and taking care of me and making all of my life that much easier. It has changed over the years. It's getting some rust on it. It has been painted once, and I really like it. I think it's a great snowplow truck, and I thank you for watching this video and checking out the channel. So don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. We'll see you in the next one.